Listen, kinfolk, I've got headphones, I have microphones, but I don't have a quality wireless gaming headset that I can use for quick streams. Let's see if the Razer Barracuda X can fill that position. Now, some of you may know that I'm a little bit late to the whole Razer lifestyle, as I didn't like a lot of their previous peripherals. They just screamed, I'm a gamer who pays way too much for things to look gamery to me. With the Barracuda X, I do like the design choice. It actually resembles other Bluetooth headphones I have with a sleek look, comfortable ear cushions, and no RGB whatsoever. You get this slick branding across the headband with an adequate amount of cushion. This embossed Razer logo on the side is just enough to let you know what's really good. The oval flow knit ear pads are cushy AF, and I love how the material lets your ears breathe a bit and is less prone to sweat than a lot of other options. The fit is okay for my big Epcot center size head, but I do wish there was more of a clamping force. Overall, I gotta give it to Razer here with this more laid back approach to the usual gaming headset aesthetic. The Barracuda X features a hybrid audio system that you can just plug in and go. In the box, you get a 3.5mm cable with a right angle connector if you want to go old school, USB-A to USB-C, and a USB-C extension for your dongle. Now let's talk about this dongle. This will be your way to just plug in and go on your different setups. For your Nintendo Switch and Android phone, simply plug it in and boom, it's connected. For your PC or PlayStation, simply plug into the extension unless your PC has an available USB-C port. On one hand, I don't mind the quirky design of the dongle, but its interesting shape can cause issues if you don't have the direct clearance on your USB-C port. For this video's purposes, I only tested it with my Switch and PC. I could have hooked it up to my phone, but we'll address that a little bit later on. So since there is no setup needed, there is no software for it to connect to. Poor Synapse. Now that also means for most situations, there won't be any way to EQ these, and that brings me to the overall sound. How these sound will go a long way in making them a great pair of gaming headphones, and honestly, that might be where they take the biggest hit for me. Now slow down, calm down, and relax. These actually have some great audio qualities. They get reasonably loud. At no point am I ever going over 75 to 80%. As for a pair of gaming headphones, the clarity in the mid-range is something I haven't experienced often. Vocals are accurate and with very little coloring across the mid-range. I wouldn't classify these as bass heavy, but there is a nice bit of warmth in the lower frequencies. Bombs and explosions will resonate with a nice little punch, but these won't leave your head rattling, which may not appeal to bass enthusiasts. The highs are somewhat lackluster, still an adequate amount of clarity, but they can also use a bit of sparkle. In fact, overall, when it comes to music, the Barracuda X seemed to lack a little bit of life. Now, usually how it goes at the end of the night, when I'm not in the mood to watch TV and not ready to go to bed, I'll pull up a playlist of some of my favorite songs and just vibe out. I have a variety of headphones that lend to a more neutral profile, but still tend to add a bit of excitement to whatever the mood is. The Barracuda X just didn't do it for me, and the soundstage is somewhat lackluster when it comes to music. Gaming, on the other hand, that is where the clarity is important to hear footsteps and bullets whiz by, and all of those explosions in the distance. Now real quick, here is a recording of the microphone. I tend to have voice chat off when I game, but I've been using it more since I've used these, and my teammates have said that I sounded good, clear, they could understand it, and this will give you an overall representation of what the mic should sound like. Also, pro tip, if your only USB-C port is on the back of your PC, I suggest using the extension to bring it to the front so that way you get a better connection when moving around, because when it was on the back of my PC, literally moving my head 4 feet away would cause connection issues. So keep that in mind. Now, to wrap it up, I really like what Razer is bringing with the Barracuda X. Now, with these not having Bluetooth, the only way to pair them to your mobile device is with the dongle. I frankly don't do much gaming on my phone other than the occasional game of Matchmasters, but if you're into some of the FPS games, or you use something like Xbox Game Pass, or God forbid, Stadia, then this might be a good option for you. When I do play games on my phone, I'm usually playing music in the background, and that is why these wouldn't be the first option for me. Again, not that these sound entirely bad when it comes to music, they just wouldn't be my first choice when I'm rocking out to my playlist. Even with this clarity, the Barracuda X could really deal with a bit more depth in the mid to low end and a touch of sparkle on the high end. So here's where I kind of go off script, because I don't want this to come off as a negative review on the Razer Barracuda X. I think for the price, Razer does get a lot right. Get a well-constructed headset. It's very comfortable to wear, even though I wish it did have a bit more clamping force. And you get a suitable mic experience as well. The ability to easily switch devices without needing software is really a plus. So I can easily go from my laptop to my Switch, back to my PC, and vice versa without even taking a second thought. You just plug it in and boom, you're connected. So I like that. It really is just the sound for me. Now, if you hook these up and you pull them up on your PC and you have some built-in EQ software to really get that sound the way you want, then hey, it may be a moot point. But for me, I always judge something on how it sounds right out of the box, and these just could be better for me. But overall, I'd love to know your opinions of the Razer Barracuda X down below in the comments. Let me know what games you're playing and what headset you're using while you're playing them, if you do at all. I'm always on the lookout for suggestions, and I love to hear what you think down below in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and never forget to holla at your boy.